Home has a remarkable way of growing more beautiful in our memory than it ever was in life. Distance softens the arguments. Time smooths the rough edges. The disappointments slowly disappear, leaving behind an image polished by longing rather than truth. We tell ourselves that if we could only return to that place, that relationship, that season of life, something inside us would finally settle. More than 2,000 years ago, Homer wrote a story that quietly challenged that hope. People remember the Odyssey as an epic filled with monsters, shipwrecks, and gods. Homer seemed captivated by something far more familiar. He asked what becomes of a person who spends 20 years traveling towards a home that has continued living without them. That question has never grown old. Perhaps because every one of us has carried an invisible homeland within us. For Odysseus, the journey begins with victory. The long war has ended. His thoughts turn towards Ithaca, where his wife Penelope still waits and his young son still remembers the father who sailed away. The voyage should have taken weeks. Instead, the sea begins writing another story. Storms scatter his fleet. Companions perish. Islands promise comfort before revealing hidden dangers. Years quietly gather into decades until the young king who left for war becomes a man weathered by grief, endurance, and impossible choices. All the while, one image remains untouched: home. That image keeps him alive. Yet memory has a curious habit of painting with kinder colours than reality ever used. The ancient philosopher Heraclitus observed that no one steps into the same river twice, because both the river and the traveller have already changed. Homer seems to whisper the very same truth through Odysseus. Ithaca still rests upon the sea. The hills remain. The olive trees still reach towards the sky. 20 years have carried every living soul forward, just as surely as they have carried the man sailing towards them. Many of us know this feeling without ever crossing an ocean. We return to the street where we grew up and discover it has somehow become smaller. We visit an old friend and search for the ease that once filled every conversation. We reopen photographs, hoping to meet the person smiling back at us, only to realize we can remember their dreams more clearly than our own. Nostalgia performs a quiet, magic trick. It persuades us that the past remained exactly where we left it. Life has never made such a promise. As Odysseus continues his voyage, another truth slowly rises from beneath the waves. Survival demands change. The qualities that carried him through battle prove useless against storms. Intelligence becomes more valuable than strength. Patience achieves what pride cannot. There are moments when courage requires drawing a sword, and others when wisdom asks him to lower his head, disguise his identity, and remain silent. An old sailor understands something that dry land often forgets. A ship with rigid sails cannot survive changing winds. Human beings rarely welcome that lesson. We admire certainty. We celebrate consistency. We cling to familiar habits as though they were anchors, even while the current quietly drifts beneath us. Yet life keeps changing the questions, and every new question asks for a different answer. Children leave home. Parents grow older. Careers end. Illness redraws ordinary days. Love asks more of us than it did 10 years ago. The people who continue flourishing are seldom those who refuse to bend. They resemble the tree that yields to the storm and greets the morning still standing while stronger branches lie scattered across the ground. Odysseus survives because he keeps learning who the next moment requires him to become. Every island teaches him another lesson. Every loss strips away another illusion. Every mile across the sea quietly reshapes the man walking its shore. By the time his ship finally reaches Ithaca, the greatest challenge no longer waits upon the water. It waits at home. He arrives dressed as a beggar. The king returns to his own kingdom as a stranger. Perhaps this remains the most heartbreaking moment in the entire story. Imagine standing within sight of your own home while nobody recognizes your face. Imagine hearing conversations about yourself as though you had become a ghost wandering through your own life. Recognition sits much deeper than appearance. Homer understood that long before psychology gave language to belonging. The first to recognize Odysseus is neither a warrior nor a nobleman. It is his old loyal dog, Argos. Argos has spent years lying outside, growing weaker with every season. His eyes have clouded. His body has surrendered to age. Yet the moment Odysseus walks past in disguise, the dog lifts his head. No armor, no crown, no royal clothing. Only something familiar that 20 years could never erase. Argos wags his tail one final time before closing his eyes forever. It remains one of the most tender scenes in all of literature. Recognition rarely begins with the eyes. It begins with love. Later, an old nurse notices the scar upon Odysseus's leg while washing his feet. The years have altered his face, but the body still carries the map of his story. At last, Penelope recognizes him through a secret known only to the two of them, their marriage bed, carved from the trunk of a living olive tree, rooted so deeply that no one could move it without destroying the house itself. What a remarkable image. A marriage built around something living rather than something constructed. Roots rather than appearances, memory rather than performance. The greatest reunion in Greek literature arrives quietly. Homer offers no triumphant speeches, no dramatic embrace beneath fireworks. Recognition unfolds through shared history, quiet loyalty, and details that only love remembers. That explains why the ending still moves us after nearly 3,000 years. Every human heart longs for the same reassurance, to know that after all the disappointments, mistakes, triumphs, and hidden griefs, someone still recognizes the person beneath the changing face. The paradox of Odysseus reaches far beyond ancient Greece. We spend much of life searching for home, only to discover that home has been changing while we were away. We adapt to survive seasons we never expected to endure, then quietly wonder whether those same adaptations have carried us too far from the people we once were. The Odyssey offers neither easy comfort nor simple answers. It offers something richer. The journey home never asks us to recover yesterday. It invites us to arrive truthfully, carrying everything life has written upon us, and to trust that real belonging grows wherever we are deeply known. Perhaps that explains why Homer's story continues to cross generations with such timeless authority. The sea belongs to Odysseus. The journey belongs to every one of us,